Welcome to reading the New Testament in original Greek. We're reading in this session Matthew chapter 3, verse 8. And also, after we finish the verse 8, we're going to continue to verse 9. Ποιήσατε un καρπόν άξιον της μετανοίας. Bear fruit worthy of repentance. Now, this verse 8, we have pretty much seen and discussed in a lot of them. Like ποιήσατε, ποιέου. We have seen this word, to do, to make. It's the main verb of doing something, of the action. It's very common. ποιέου. And from there we have the vocal stretch plus sigma. And the ending ate is the ending of the second person plural of you. So you with the plural. Which means we have this one in aorist. Now think about the sigma. When do we have sigma? Well, you could have in the future. Well, we don't have augmentation, so it's possible. But in a second, we have an aorist. But we don't have the augmentation, which means, and if it's an aorist, it's not indicative. So from there, thinking of the form changes with the sigma and the ending ate makes it naturally the aorist sigma. Now from there, we don't have augmentations, which means again, no indicative. So with the second person plural, with the vocal stretch in the E, with the eta, with the accent over there, makes it as actually subjunctive in the form, in the paradigms, if you look at. So the ποιήσατε, so with the subjunctive, you should make. Un is a then post to positive words like a they, but different meaning. Now, καρπόν is a καρπός is a fruit or the result, a product of something, the outcome is καρπός. Now, as an accusative, making the grammatical connection with axion, from the axios, the worthy, making this one both when it's an accusative, it's an adjective of karpos, karpon. So the worthy fruit, you should make then a worthy fruit. These makes the connections to karpos, describing what of what. Now these of metanias, of the repentance. Now the metanias is from the noun metania, but also we have seen this verb metanoeo. And in Greek, of course, in the New Testament and the Septuagint, its religious use bears the repentance of regretting. It has the meaning of it all contained, but in the ancient Greek, in the philosophy and other literature, does not always or necessarily bear the religious meaning. Simply changing the mind, often it's what it means. But in the New Testament especially, it's a religious use different. Verse 9. Και μη δόξετε λέγειν εν αυτής, πατέρα έχομεν τον Αβραάμ. Λέγω κατ' εμήν ότι δύναται ο Θεός εκ των λίθων τούτων εγείρε τέκνα το Αβραάμ. And me with subjunctive. This is subjunctive we're going to look at a little after. But, okay, sorry, we should have done it with the English translation from the NRSV. Do not presume to say to yourselves, we have Abraham as our ancestor. For I tell you, God is able from these stones to raise up children to Abraham. Now, from again, me with the subjunctive, it's a negation. Me is a particular negation also for subjunctive. So if you see me, well, you have to think of a lot of different things. So whether it's in a dependent clause and etc., etc. But simply you can start with me as a negation, not, but if it follows with subjunctive. And then you can think of this in a main sentence or dependent sentence. Well, that's an extra. But start with a negation with subjunctive. Me doxite. Doxite, it's from the verb dokeo. Dokeo means to be in the opinion, to appear to be, or to yeah, in the thought of something. So do not be in the opinion or thought of something. Now, of something is now we have an as the to plus infinitive legging to say. So do not be in the opinion to say, legging to say. Now, before we move on to the end of these doxite, let's look at the verbal changes. A doxa future and an adoxa. Now we have the dox with the xi, which we have in the verbal changes in the future and in an aorist. Now, of course, then doxo from the future, then doxete would be the natural, would be the obvious, the ending conjugations of the verb in the second person. Now we have the vocal stress, e, eta, tav, epsilon. Now, since it's in the subjunctive, we can remove from the aorist the augmentation. E is away. So doxa, start from the doxa, and from there to the verbal with a vocal stretch, right? And then goes to the second person plural, makes the form of doxite. Now, so that we know this is the subjunctive with a vocal stretch. Although usually bears the iota subscriptum, in this case in the second person plural, there is no iota subscriptum underneath of eta. Just bear in mind. Now, do not be in the opinion to say in AFDs. AFDs is yourself. Well, you could also see the afdos without a. It's the Attic. It could be an Attic Greek, and with the already contracted forms. It has a bit of slightly different forms and different reasons in the ancient Greek. But anyway, with the AFDs, yourself, it's dative forms in the plural, and usually translate as an in. So in yourself, it's not a natural. So to yourself we have in an NRSV, but also it's possible among yourself. So do not be of the opinion to say among yourself or to yourself in this similar sense. Now we have patera, father. Now what's the verb, main verb of the next sentence? Echomen, we have. Don Avraham. Now again, accusative object. Patera, we didn't know before whether it's an accusative. Now we know from the verb we have Don Avraham. The Abraham, We have Abraham as patera, father. Now double accusative, when it occurs, it could be an opposition. We have father Abraham. Or it could translate also as A as B. So obviously with the don has the definite article here. So we have Abraham as father, patera. So that's a sentence finished there again. So lego garimin, I say God, positive word, imin, to you. In the dative forms, I say to you. Oti, you could translate as a that and as a relative sentence, or you could also translate as a because. Well, it doesn't make much difference, but it's a possible. Because dínate o theos is a nominative case and naturally makes the subject of the sentence in a dependent clause. So o theos, God, dínate, it's from the verb díname. It's a singular, the first person. Now ate means a third person singular. So matching the number of the subject o theos. God is able to, be able to as a díname, or it has a power to do something. So well, it's exactly the same as be able to. So God is able to what? Egedo. Look at the further down. Egede. It's in the infinitive form. So if you say, I am able to do something, right? So it's also the same. Dύναται expects a two plus infinitive. Egire. Egero from the verb. To raise, to awaken, or to stand. Now, of course, this is almost a terminus technicus, also TT as technical terms to indicating that to give life, or when you say in the Matthew later on in the chapter 10 verse 8 also use this one word when Jesus commissions the disciples. You have to go heal the sick and raise the dead. There, raise the dead also used with the egero, this verb, give life to the death. Right? So God is able to raise what? Raise? Then, of course, then we need an accusative object. Tekena, children. To, now we have dative, to Abraham, or for Abraham. To or for is a dative typical translation. Now, we have extra information then between Otheos and Egide. Now, we can put the parenthesis between and making as in a separate translations and then put it on in the sentence. Ek ton, out of or from, the it's a plural. Lithon, it's a stone. Lithos, it's a singular nominative. Now we have genitive plural. Lithon, from the stones. Tuton, these. Now they know they're indicating specific stones before them and talking about tuton. So out of these stones, or from these stones, God is able to raise children to Abraham, for Abraham. This is what it means here. Okay, so we've finished verse 9, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have questions or any comment, please do not hesitate to leave the comments on the channel, and I will look forward to our next session.